guys, it's your girl Chi-Town Blue here with another installment of the A-List Alert coming on behalf of the Key S Expressions Publishing / Multimedia Division. We are doing big things in the Midwest, you guys. If you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. Go below this video, like, share, subscribe, comment on everything that you see. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. New views, old views, additional views. You guys are a part of the 189.2K views in the US as well as overseas as well. So this is another installment of Shock Value. So let's get started today. Guess who is on the runway today? Actress Jennett McCurdy. Yes, ma'am. Front and center. You guys know her from iCarly as well as Sam and Cat. So from Nickelodeon. So let me go back before I even go into this article from Rolling Stones. Here's the platform. Let's set it up. Okay. So I have 4 kids, of course. 25, 23, 19, 16. Okay. Growing up, I was able to really get them involved in cinema. And so the media was really something that we gravitated towards between movies and at home viewing. So for my girls, it was me with Jennett. You know, Jennett, back in the 80s when she came out, it was her and Lisa Bonet and Tisha Campbell. Those were the women in media that I saw that I could basically relate to. So then when it came to my oldest daughter was really into Raven. So that brought in the Cheetah Girls. And then my last child, she was into Zendaya. So all of us kind of mixed our own experiences with media together. And then they kind of got an influence of my viewing, and then vice versa, their viewing. And that way we made a bond with each other. Nickelodeon was really good because Nickelodeon, in my day, they had a show that was called You Can't Do That on Television. That was a Canadian show that made it to the U.S. and it was awesome. It was slapstick comedy. That's what I was looking for. That's what I enjoyed. And that kind of gravitated me more towards iCarly as well. Now, Kenan and Kel came out as well. So all that, Kenan and Kel, I was involved in all that. Slapstick comedy like Cara Burnett and Lucille Ball, I was in for it. I found it on iCarly as well as Sam and Cat. So I enjoyed that programming. Now, what ended up happening was I got into a conversation on IG regarding Diddy and some pictures that came out of P. Diddy. Well, that sparked a conversation about his situation with him and Usher. And I felt it was inappropriate. It was really inappropriate for someone that young to be able to go off of the premises, away from his family, and spend the night with Diddy. And he acknowledges that in an interview that he does on YouTube with Kevin Hart. And so that whole thing sparked a different conversation of what are we as parents willing to do for the mighty dollar? It's crazy. I don't care how much money you make. It does not negate you having my child and taking my child away to go sleep somewhere. I don't think so. If it doesn't fly in a regular setting, you wouldn't allow a total stranger to come in. Why is Diddy able to do that? And that was really inappropriate behavior. And now, years later, Usher is in the media like a playboy because now he has that mental issue of everything that was done to him when he was younger. He's trying to erase it by having all these different women in his life, and now that's a cliche. It happens like that. So that sparked the conversation to do research on this particular issue between Nickelodeon and Jennett. So Rolling Stones did the article with Jennett. She's coming out with her own book entitled Glad My Mom Died. Now that's gone on through Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair made the announcement. And so what happened to her, she makes a realization to everybody that, hey, look, I was offered $300,000 in hush money by Nickelodeon to not talk about my experience with this person. And she calls him the creator. So I have the article here. You know what I do on my page. Let's get started and read up on it. I'm also going to make a reference to another source of information, TVOM. So stay tuned to that as well. I'm going to give you that information on that publication too. But right now we're going to get into the Rolling Stones article on Jennett, who says she was offered $300,000 as hush money for Nickelodeon to not expose her experience with that network. So let's get started. Actress Jennett McCurdy claims she was once offered $300,000 in hush money to ensure that she would not publicly discuss her time at Nickelodeon or experiences with the man she worked with, referred to as the creator. In a new excerpt from her upcoming memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, via Vanity Fair, McCurdy was a prominent figure on Nickelodeon during the late 2000s and early 2010s, first starring on iCarly and then reprising her role in a short-lived spinoff called Sam and Cat that co-starred Ariana Grande. The new excerpt from I'm Glad My Mom Died includes scenes from a dinner McCurdy had with the creator while the Sam and Cat spinoff was being worked out, and later a scene from the show's final days after the creator had been accused of misconduct. The excerpt ends with the relieved McCarty learning that Sam and Cat had been canceled after just one season. On a call with her various lawyers, managers, and agents, McCurdy says that her team told her Nickelodeon was also offering her $300,000, of which one of her managers allegedly said, "They're giving you $300,000 and the only thing they want you to do is never talk publicly about your experience at Nickelodeon." Following this quote, McCurdy writes, specifically related to the creator. McCurdy says she immediately turned down the hush money offer, though she admits later that she second-guessed her decision. Still, she pointedly writes, "Nickelodeon is offering me $300,000 in hush money to not talk publicly about my experience on the show, my personal experience of the creator's abuse. This is a network with shows made for kids. Shouldn't they have some sort of moral compass? Shouldn't they at least try to report to some sort of ethical standard?" A representative for Nickelodeon did not immediately return Rolling Stone's request for comment. Elsewhere in the excerpt, McCurdy details an uncomfortable dinner she had with the creator before the start of Sam and Cat. She explains, during that dinner, the creator joiled her into drinking some alcohol when she was still 18 and later placed a hand on my knee. She then says the creator, thinking McCurdy was cold, took his coat off, placed it around her, began patting her shoulders, and then massaging her. I want to say something, to tell him to stop, but I'm so scared of offending him, McCurdy writes. In the part of the excerpt covering her time on Sam and Cat, McCurdy writes, honestly, after grappling with the death of her mom in 2013, her struggles with bulimia, falling out of love with acting, and the fear that her time on Nickelodeon will pigeonhole her for the rest of her career. She also recalls the fallout on the set. The creator got in trouble for accusations of his emotional abuse, adding, "I feel like it's been a long time coming and should have happened a lot sooner." Wow. According to McCurdy, part of the creator's punishment was that he was no longer allowed to be on the set with the other actors. "I appreciate the amount of trouble he's gotten in. It wasn't just a slap on the wrist sort of thing," she writes, adding, "The creator sits in a small cave-like room off to a side of the soundstage surrounded by piles of cold cuts, his favorite snack, and Kids' Choice Awards, his most cherished life accomplishment." McCarty never explicitly identifies the creator in the excerpt. Both iCarly and Sam and Cat were created by Dan Schneider, who helmed several successful Nickelodeon shows. Schneider and Nickelodeon parted ways in 2018 after an investigation found that he would be verbally abusive. There was no evidence of sexual misconduct, but some said Schneider could make people feel uncomfortable, claiming he asked employees for massages and text message child actors outside of work hours. In a 2021 interview with the New York Times, Schneider denied acting inappropriately with people he worked with. A rep for Schneider did not return Rolling Stone's request for comment regarding the "I'm glad my mom dead" excerpt. My mom died excerpt. Wow. Okay, so here is my commentary on this. As a parent, you want success for your kids, granted. But you can't be so hooked on the glitz and the glamour without seeing the warning signs of what's going on. I want to point to TVOM. TVOM is another publication that shelled out top 20 artists who were coming out saying, hey, look, we are in this situation as well. We're coming out, speaking out about abuse among the elite, the successful people of the Hollywood industry. One of the people that stands out in this whole crusade, it's two people for me. It is Corey Feldman. Now, I'm the 90s, 80s baby. I came out with Goonies, Weird Science, Goonies, The Breakfast Club, Home Alone. That was the genre of TV that I was into, movies that I was into growing up. So when Corey Feldman did Goonies and did The Lost Boys, that they were popular back then. It was two of them, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. So they were really popular back then. So Corey Feldman also was affiliated with Michael Jackson and all that. So what ended up happening was he got on TVOM in this list and said, hey, look, I'm doing this A&E network program, and it's going to feature me and Corey Haim. He revealed to everybody that, hey, look, I'm in this industry. I'm young, I'm underage, but I've also been approached by pedophiles in this industry. So then it moves down to Corey Haim. Corey Haim, 39 years old, sadly overdosed on drugs. But at the age of 11, his story came out too, before he died, that at age 11, he was raped. And so he was raped by a person of stature through Hollywood. He was transferred from one person to another. And the mental issue that comes with that. It's a lot to have to take on as a young person being in this industry and not having that protection. Elijah Wood, who was in charge of, who starred in Flipper, and what was the other one? The Favorite Son. He was in that as well. He came out and said that in the Sunday Times that he had his mom, who was the protector of him in that whole, going to the parties, being an elite person, and having access to kids. His mother, he equates the success that he has with his mother protecting him from those type of parties. So everybody's story, from Usher and Diddy, to Elijah Wood, to Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and then Jennett, their stories are matching up with each other. So we as parents have to look at that and say, why are we lax in our protection of our kids? Regardless, R. Kelly as well, Bill Cosby as well. Why are we not protecting our kids to the point where when it comes to elite, when it comes to doing certain things, we get lax? Because you're looking at the small picture, which is the amount of money that you can get based on this particular status and what all this thing can bring. You cannot negate that. Safety comes first. Will this person be safe? There's no reason for an elite person to have access to your child and you're not there. Underage, on top of that. You should be on the set. You should be their manager. I think about Zendaya's parents and how concrete they are in her career. They did an interview with Vanity Fair and all the hot blogs out there, and they were saying, hey, look, we don't play that. Any decision that's made, it goes through us. And that's the united front that does not change just because you're in a position to have your child's face plastered everywhere. We have to do this. We have to do this as a parent. As a parent, you cannot be lax with it. I don't care how much money, how many zeros that end up in my bank account. I'm not going to sacrifice my most precious jewel to me, which are my kids. For the mighty dollar, for them to have their mental health jacked up for the rest of their lives, for them to end up strung out on drugs. We hear the stories everywhere. But at the same time, Disney is still promoting, hey, look, come do a commercial with us. Sex trafficking is a major issue, and Disney and Nickelodeon are still saying, we want your kids. We're nice. We can cut you a check if you just look the other way. But you looking the other way as a parent costs them everything. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the damage that's left when these kids become 30 and 40 years old and can't figure out where the time went. And then that elite person is going on holding auditions again in order to get the show that they need to go forward so that the ratings are there so that they can continue to make money. Off the souls and mental state of our children. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Keep everybody safe. Please keep everybody safe out there. And remember, ladies, if you are a part of the Curve Nation, are we little girls? Hell no. So do we tap on doors? Hell no. If you are a part of the Curve Nation, ladies, remember to kick that bitch off the hinges. Remember, go down below this video. Let me know if you are an iCarly fan or if you are a Sam and Cat fan. One of the things I wanted to talk about was that Sam really reminded me of, there was a show in the early 80s called Laverne and Shirley. I think it was the early 70s, 80s, something like that. Laverne and Shirley. Awesome. It was about two single women who were living together, best friends, besties, and they go through everything. That slapstick comedy again. She reminds me so much of her. Go out there and support everybody's arena of entertainment. Go get her book when it comes out, Jennett. Go support her platform. And again, thank you guys so much for coming on board. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment on everything. If you have a comment, if you need to share a story about auditions that you went through, your experience with an audition as a child actor, that is what this video is all about. Go below this video, hit that notification bell, leave a comment, share your story. It might help somebody else. If you had a negative experience with Disney, if you had a negative experience auditioning in general, leave the comment below this video. Let's talk about it. I'm here for you guys. And remember, have an awesome day. Stay safe, stay cool in the 100+ degree weather that's out there. It's summertime, and I hope you guys are having an awesome one again. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Love you. Take care. Bye.